Good afternoon, mine explorers. Tom and Julie here. Where's Julie? All I see is a marsh. Ah, there she is.
Hello.
Well, it looks like we have water in this mine, hence
Shorts.
Julie's in shorts, I'm in shorts. I got a feeling I'm going to be going first in this one today. Yep, this one's wet. Ooh, cold too. Nice and clear though, so you can see that there aren't any holes. Woo!
And deep. Oh my god.
I don't know, it's a huge waste rock pile outside of this mine. Looks like it's all solid granite. The country rock. I don't see. No, we got low oxygen. Well, we had a low oxygen alarm. But we'll push on and see if we feel lightheaded or anything. You go first, Julie. Cut the boss out in front. Her legs are so long and barely over her knees, it's up to my waist. I feel track down there still. Something was hanging there. You can still see the track there. Ouch. Watch out, don't hit your leg on this thing.
Okay.
The water's getting a little shallower. You see a timber set and a dam. I think this was a silver mine, maybe some copper and gold too. And it was operating from around 1900 until 1920 something. This water's not quite so clean, is it? Well, the top of the tracks are emerging from the water. This Must be getting a little shallower. A lot of water. But that's a heavy duty track too, isn't it? This is a long haulage at it right here. Well, the water's been pretty low, but now here's another dam. Kind of a dam with a little spill gate here. So the water got a little deeper again. Looks like an old work car or something up there. Yep, there's a flat car with stake sides on it. I'll be danged, it still rolls. Oh my. Wonder what kind of stories that thing could tell. Pretty big car, isn't it?
Yeah.
I wonder what they're hauling with that. I'm gonna push it one way or the other. Let's get back this way now. It rolls pretty good, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to believe that it rolls that nicely. The ore car is pretty cool. We're going to go a little further. The oxygen is low, around 16%. I think, well, let's go a little further. We both feel okay, so. It's always fun to see an ore car, isn't it? I'd like to see some of the actual mining here. This is just haulage. You got the boss back in front. We've been going a long way in this mine. Looks like something's happening up here.
Looks like a mess.
Well, I'll say. Something let loose in it.
Looks like it ends anyway.
I'll move up here and see. Yeah, that's it, unless there's a shaft over here. This tells you the story right here. BX I7 low O2 caution. And look down here. You want to have a scary mine explorer, go crawling in there. Not me. It's too bad though, because I'd like to see what this mine does. It's just, there's no way I'm going in there. And this is kind of a stoped area here. But as big as the waste piles are out here, it was a sizable operation. And it would be fun to see the actual, where the mine work took place. Because I think that what we've seen mostly is just a haulage. But that's the life of the mine explorers. Well, we're getting out of here. Go find some oxygen. Well, I guess I'll never know what happened after that spot where we stopped. We're in Utah, did I mention that? I don't think I did. A little bad up here. I'll let him by. Teaser. They tease you, don't they? They like to fly right at your head and make a quick U-turn. This is about the deepest spot right here. Ooh, oh, it's deeper. I know it's hard to balance because you step on those tracks and you go sideways. There's the great outdoors though. Looks like this thing was gated at one time here. Not anymore. It's a mine creature. Looks like there was old rail over there of some sort. I see some cross ties. I'm standing on top of a small waste pile. This is part of the larger one over there. Yeah, there was some kind of rail going between those two piles because there's part of a trestle there. Maybe we'll walk out in the waste pile and see how it looks. Really windy today too. Looks like the latest part of the waste pile was over this way. The tracks are still going over here a little bit. A lot of granite, that's for sure. Mountains of it. There's some big rail in there too. And that was a big ore car in there too. Well, actually it was a utility car of some sort. And there's a mountain of wood stuff down there. I'm not sure what that's all about. This is one piece of the waste pile. The main one is over there. And this, between these two, it looks like there was a trestle that went out there. and also something that went over to the next one. But I think they were loading things in between there. See the wall down there? Rock wall. So I think they were pulling either a train car or a truck through there. Looks like there might have been a railroad grade there, doesn't it? See it? Let's see the rock wall down there. And that's about it. Look at all the granite. All granite. You pick yourself out a headstone, really. There's a nice chunk right here. Carve your initials in there. That's back towards the portal. Well, we're here on the other side of the mountain from where we just were in that wet mine. It looks like there's a mill of some sort that was here with the steps there. Some foundations down that way. A little waste pile up there. There are some shafts around here. This is a little small open pit mine, and you can see the copper vein right over there. Pretty obvious. And big tank and a pad up that way. So, what do you think, Julie?
I think there's some more for us to explore.
Where should we go?
That way.
Okay, the road goes that way. Go up and around?
The road that goes that way.
You want to take the road that goes that way?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Look at the minerals in there. Wow. Pretty wild. Hello, Mr. Lizard. How are you today? You're a fine specimen, aren't you? How long his toes are. You're almost tame, aren't you? You're a handsome little guy. There he went. He says, that's all the closer you're going to get, my friend. Well, here is a beautiful portal to a horizontal adit. It's got a blower right above Julie's head there for ventilation. Appears to be open and not flooded like the last one. So far, anyway. It's a big drive-in style. Smells very sulfury, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's pretty sulfur in here.
That's it? I don't think so. It's got a lot of roof straps and rock bolts reinforcing the back of the mine. I think this is copper country, and here you can see a lot of blue right here. Copper, gold, and silver. That's it, huh? Well, that was a short one.
There's creepy stuff here on your left.
That was it. Yeah, we're starting to get some mineral action turning into stalagmites and stalactites. This one. I think a lot of times these are calcite, aren't they? That's pretty sturdy. Mm.
Looks like a big tooth.
Yeah, they're sturdy.
They're sturdy.
I mean, you could obviously break it if you wanted to.
Sure, but I thought they'd be more fragile.
Here's a few that have broken. Seeing some cave-like features in here. Stalactite comes from the ceiling, right? A lot of minerals in these walls. Kinds of different stuff. It's a real minerally area. A lot of sulfur too. I guess is that what makes sulfuric acid and makes sulfides dissolve out the valuable metals? You tell me. It smells like sulfur. Somebody's been digging around this old cabin site, looking for where the old timers buried their high grade. Looks like an old stove here to me, probably. Yeah, this is obviously an old camp area. Yeah, here's part of an old cabin. There's the old door frame anyway. Not much else left of it, is there? It looks like some of this stuff has been milled a little bit on the all this, or dry washed. Hey, dry washed, huh? Boy, if that's a cabin, that's a pretty small one. Here's the cam dump, so apparently it was a little sleeping cabin. Trying to get a look at a nail to see what kind of nails they are. Oh, they're big round head nails, I can see them. That is a tiny cabin. Probably no more than 8 by 8, I don't think. This is straight ahead is the big open mine. In fact, this is kind of the start of it. That's a big cut. There's that big tank that we saw earlier. This huge water tank. That's got to be about what? 10 feet diameter at least. And let's see how long it is. $36 feet long. A lot of rivets. There's another view of the pit. A deep one in it. Look at this glop. Look at the flies down there. Holy, this is where the flies are coming from. Ooh,
Gross.
you fall in there, that'd be, be all over with. Oh.
Yeah.
The flies just pouring out of there. Crazy. Let's look over here. There's a pretty cool copper vein. Some sort of valve here. Pipe threads. Nord something. Nord SI8 something. Loo. Woo or woog. Nope. Never seen one. Here's the bottom of this big copper vein, or below this big copper vein, I should say. Very sulfury over here too. This pile over here is like half pyrite. Either that or it's gold, and I'm dumb for not taking it. Man, this is just one big glob of minerals. Well, here is a kiln used to make charcoal. Charcoal was useful. It burned hotter than wood. What they would do is put wood, fill the whole thing out with wood, limit the oxygen, let it burn for a while. I'm not sure how long. It depended, I guess, on the wood. Anyway, the coal was more useful for if you were going to run something on steam, heat a steam boiler, or if you were going to use it in the forge for the blacksmith, stuff like that. So let's go inside and take a look. Here we are inside the kiln. There's the doorway. And then this is the other vent, or the other way that they would control the airflow through here. Also the top, and you can see some small holes up there. Those would also help control how much they wanted to let air through. And that's looking up to the sky. And this is what, about 15-foot diameter. This looks like a big chunk of rose-colored quartz, isn't it?
Yeah, looks like it.
Where is it?
I don't know, it's huge.
Excuse me. Well, I believe this was the mill where the ore from the mines we were just in was hauled to be processed. And this is in the town of Newhouse, what used to be the town. When the mines ran dry, the town folded up and moved over to Milford, Utah. It's a big chunk of concrete here, that's for sure. I believe this folded up in about 1920 or 21. Really only ran for 20 years. Amazing the work they put into these mines, and then they fold up. And a lot of red brick too. I don't know what they use that for. This has a lot of dark material near it. Copper, silver, and gold came out of these mines. Is this slag of some sort? What is this? Yeah, this is all slag. All the black stuff you see here is slag. They must have been... So this is probably fire brick, these red bricks. Smelters and stuff like that. Somebody set a few aside. Maybe they have marks on them. I don't see any logos on the brick. I never could figure out how all these mill parts work. Nice in here. Must have been a heck of a smelter with all this fire brick here. And slag around. And those 4 big mounts for something over there. Get away, Julie!
Well, that concludes our day of exploring and our video. We hope you enjoyed it. No.
Take it away, Julie!
Well, that concludes our day of exploring. We hope you enjoyed our video and thanks for watching. It was a fun day. It was a nice...
Take it away, Julie!
Well, that concludes our day of exploring. We started off in that wet mine and found something really cool in there. That ore car was pretty neat. And then it was pretty sulfury in there as well. But pretty cool. And then we went out over here and explored around the open pit and inside of a smaller mine as well. It was really cool. Lots of minerals around here. And it's a beautiful day. You got a little hiking in as well. So we hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on our next adventure.